I'm sorry.
I'm here. Hello.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so, we'd like to call the meeting, the August 6th Design Review Board meeting to order. Since I am remote and Tanner is in the building, he has graciously, accepted the, role of chairing the meeting tonight, so I'm gonna pass the gavel over to him.
All right, thank you, Kelly.
Tanner?
Thanks so much. Would like for all the applicants to recognize that we have 4 board members here present this evening. It will take a unanimous vote for your motions or projects to be approved. You do have the opportunity to continue your project. Just make sure you're all aware of that. Thank you. All right, first on the agenda is to approve the July 2nd DRB minutes. Have all the board members had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
Any questions or concerns regarding them? All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Minutes are approved. All right, Tim, do you have any announcements for us this evening?
Yes, good evening. Tim Brown with Planning and Development. Item number 7, Wood Spring Suites. We're requesting to be continued to our next meeting, September 3rd. They did not provide their inserts on time, nor did they post a sign or send out certified letters. So we have no choice but to continue it to the next meeting.
All right, thank you, Tim. All right, we'll move on to our next agenda item. Autos Car Wash, so all deviation.
Yes, thank you. This is a deviation application submitted by JP Engineering requesting, actually I got the project. That one, but it's a request to, it's a deviation request for the roof pitch to go from 4 to 12 to 2 to 12. It's on 2.37 acres with a future land use of mixed use and a zoning of village mixed use. I'll answer any questions the board may have. They wanted to keep their current design, so they're asking for the roof pitch deviation.
Have the board members had an opportunity to review the request included in our package? And the applicant is present.
Yes, the applicant is present.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Just a quick question. Have I lost my mind? When I last looked at this, I don't think there were color renderings. Are these color renderings new to the packet? Or did I just miss them the first time? That's highly possible.
No, they should have been in the
It
packet
doesn't matter.
originally.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I mean, they should have already been in
Okay.
there.
Okay, I must have just missed them. So if you'll bear with me, I just want to look at that real quick. So this is just an aesthetic issue that they want the roof pitch to be less than what's required.
Yeah, that's
So
correct.
My name is Matthew Parker. I'm the civil engineer on the project.
It's only a portion of the roof, is that the one
Which-
little?
Which part of the roof do they want to change? Because this
Yeah,
is, yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
Hello, Board. Thank you for your time tonight. My name is Matthew Parker with JP Engineering. I'm the civil engineer on the project. This particular request is really more heavily architecture. The architect, Dennis Chavis, is here. In my personal opinion, it's a very minor deviation request because the majority of the roof line meets the code, but some of the accent roof lines are 2 to 1. I believe Dennis was telling me less than 10% of the roof lines, and it's an aesthetic perspective, but I'd like to turn it over to Dennis as it's his design to speak.
Excuse me, can we please make sure that the presenter camera is on, or the presenter is not on mute? I can hear it, but it's coming through pretty light. I think the microphone might be off on our end.
Yeah, okay.
Is that better? There you go.
Okay. I think it's a Zoom issue, if
Yeah, on the
whoever's
Zoom.
controlling the Zoom.
You can unmute the presenter's camera on Zoom. We'll be all set. Got it, okay.
We all set?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Chairman, temporary Chairman. Yeah, Matt was kind of leading in the right direction there. Basically, the way the code says in the corridor is that you can't have a less than 312 pitch that can be seen from the front of the road. And in actuality, that's the way we have it. We actually have a parapet if you look at that south elevation. And so you don't see that. It's actually behind that kind of the right-hand side and that part that's sandwiched between the little tower and the orange part. So you can't even see it from that side. And then on the other side, it's actually sandwiched with another part. So the concept was to diminish the entrance and exit is basically your prep and dry area, and enhancing the wash area in this design. And so for that matter, that's why we wanted to lower that. We didn't really think it was a big issue, quite honestly. But here we are, and we're asking for that request.
I'm trying to figure out where exactly you're talking about. Is it on the north elevation, the roof that is got us, on the left side of the building, shown on the north elevation over the
Yes,
single
ma'am,
door?
that's exactly right. So on the left side, on that north elevation, you can see a portion of the roof coming down. On the other side of that same north elevation, you can just barely see it. It just barely, you can actually see it in the shadow area. So that one's actually sandwiched on both sides, and then the exit is only sandwiched on one side with a parapet.
Is that shown as, like you're asking, is that a 2 and 12 pitch, or is that a 4 and 12 pitch?
So
And the north
the
elevation?
entire building is in complete compliance with your pitches, except for that portion in the north elevation that you're talking about, and that small portion on the north elevation that you're also talking about, that one side over there. So, like I said, it's less than 10% of the whole roof. The rest of the roof is in compliance.
I know, but what I'm asking is that shown on that elevation as a 4 and 12 or as a 2 and 12, like you're requesting?
212.
It's shown as 2 and 12.
Correct.
It's more than 2 and 12 for me, but, you know, it looks like it's a 4 and 12. But what is the pitch on the little awning, that little bracket there? Is that what is the pitch there? Right
I would,
next to the door, there's a little bracket there?
yeah, it's probably like a 712. I don't,
On the north elevation again,
yes, ma'am.
is that 7 and 12?
on that, or 612,
That
on the
low.
little
So
bracket,
If I look
yeah.
at the two, that looks like you're showing it 4 and 12.
Yeah, we're slightly under, it's like 2.5 on 12, to be quite honest, but it's under what you guys have written in your codes.
Yes, but so are you saying that that is shown as a 2.5 and 12, or is it shown as a 4 and 12?
I help
I think
clarify
the
it, but
part
she
that
seems
2.5 and
confused.
12 is barely showing in this, isn't it?
That's the whole point.
Is it on the right-hand side of the?
The whole point is that it's barely showing, 90% of your roof is in full compliance, so it's a little, you actually have to search out the roof line that's not in compliance. It's so not visual to you, so that's why we're here.
Exactly, but I'm trying to figure out the drawing and exact roof. And is it on the right-hand side of the north elevation or on the left-hand side of the north elevation as you're looking at it?
So it actually is on both sides. It's on the left side and the right side of the north elevation. Where's the camera?
So it's that, on the right side, it's that kind of darkish gray part that you can just only see the end of,
Yeah. So can you see me on the
coming
camera?
from behind the other part of the roof. And then on the left side, it's that gray, lighter gray section that has the door in the middle of it,
Right, it's right
small
here.
brown door.
Yeah.
I think that's where it is, Lourdes.
Yeah, well, now I understand. I mean, it's on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine with this if our design professionals are.
I don't have
in the
any
interview
problem with it.
Yeah, I don't have any issues.
Is it a metal roof? It is, right?
Yes, ma'am, it sure is.
Looks like it.
Yeah, okay. On those two pieces, okay. I think that'll be fine. Because waterproofing, it works well.
That must have been Lourdes.
We need
Any other questions or comments from the
motion
board?
to approve the deviation? Yes.
No. No questions.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion, do
You
we have a
make a
second?
motion,
Do we have?
Kelly?
I made a motion.
All right, we have
You
a
made a
motion.
motion to approve? Okay, I second.
All right, we have a
I did.
motion to approve and a second. Any public comments? Being as none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, motion carries unanimously. Move on to the next agenda item, Autos Car Wash Sowall.
Yeah, so this is the actual project. This is a major development order application submitted by JP Engineering requesting approval to construct a 4,886 square foot car wash on 2.37 acres with a future land use of mixed use and a zoning of village mixed use. So with that, I'll answer any questions. I mean, we're doing the whole full-blown review here, landscaping, lighting, the whole 9 yards. It is in compliance. The only thing that was not in compliance was that roof pitch at 2 to 12.
I have one question on the landscape plan. I don't know who there might be the best person to answer it, but there's not a ground cover of any sort proposed around the island or around the south side of the retention pond. Is that all intended to be sod? That's not hardscape? Or is that a different material? I was looking for notes on the landscape plan. There's typically sod notes or disturbance notes, but I wasn't 100% sure what was proposed for that island, and for that long section,
Matt, do you know Brad's intent
to the south of the
there?
retention pond.
Just so that I'm clear, you're talking on the south side of the east-west connector where our retention pond is shown? There, is that the area?
Yes, in that, the south, yeah, the southwest, there's just a really large, section. You've got 2 trees, but I wasn't sure if that was all intended to be sod. And then the island itself, I know the interior of it is, sidewalk, but I was curious if there were shrubberies or ground covers or mulch or sod planned for the,
The plan is to sod
perimeter
that in our
area.
civil engineering plans, in conjunction with the landscape plans. We also have some notes that speak to solid sodding in the cleared or landscape area. And then around the retention pond, it's sort of on the south side of the retention pond, but on the north side of the parking lot. And then also on the west side of the drive-through lane, we have a lot of shrubbery there to help buffer between the car and the parking lot area. We feel like the visibility in that area as you're coming into the facility and coming through the pay station area, as you work your way to the south and east into the tunnel, and then back out of the tunnel to the vac area, that's very important so that the customer can understand the traffic flow as they come through the facility. So I feel like that we've buffered, particularly from the public and on the south frontage, the frontage along 98. And then over on the east side, buffering from the public was really strong landscaping. But from a functionality of site perspective, yes, ma'am, that's what we had in mind, was site stabilization with sod.
thank you, that's fine. I think the buffering is adequate and no problem at all with that. I just was very curious if there was so much, open space that wasn't quite designated. I know usually, there are notes, I may have missed them, about the disturbed areas being sodded, but I just wanted to make sure that, we didn't just have a big sea of mulch out there in the middle, that there was actually gonna be a ground covering.
Yeah, to clarify the notes.
Thank you for answering that.
Yeah, the notes say, unless otherwise specified, all areas not planted will be sodded with Tifway 419 Bermuda sod.
Perfect. So does this also, Tim, approve the sign location and sign itself, or is that a separate, item in the future? Or is
No,
this
this
all
will be
individual?
approving the signs as well. All they'd have to do after this meeting is upload the sign application, and I would approve it.
So before we go to the signage, can I just ask, is there rooftop equipment, and if so, where is it? Maybe on the plans, I'm just having trouble finding it.
The applicant shaking their head, no rooftop equipment.
No, ma'am, no rooftop equipment.
So any AC units, satellite dishes, whatever will be screened from view wherever they are?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Where are they?
I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing, I didn't see anything labeled
there-
either.
Is there, I think there's an office, little inside area in the upper left corner of the building footprint, is that right? The same page with the, colored elevations?
Can you please indicate where the air conditioning, where the condensers are?
So this is Dennis Chavis, the architect
I
again.
see.
We're actually looking at using, putting the units, package units up in the attic area. And so we actually have some dormer, a long dormer on the top. And our idea is actually to have all the equipment up there. We'll have, so you won't see any of it. Be a lot like Baytown Wharf and some of those other projects that use the package units. You just see some louvers.
That would be great.
Yeah, I see now that dormer is, the long one is on the north elevation is louvered.
Exactly, yeah, and we think we have good separation there so we're only cooling the equipment room and mainly tempering that, and then the office area, so it's not like we're air conditioning the entire building. The tunnel doesn't get any air conditioning.
Right,
That would be really nice. I mean,
yeah, I like that.
see any of it. And they're using the storage of the AC unit and making it an architectural detail on the building, which is nice.
Thank
It
you.
is nice. All right, so signage is where I'm going now. I don't know about everybody else, but.
Now let's tackle it.
I was there, Lee, so.
Yeah, I know you were. I had to get my thing out there.
Yeah, it looks to me like there's, internally illuminated channel letters, the logo. Is that what we're seeing on the plan there?
For the, monument sign?
For the monument sign?
This is Matt Parker again. Unfortunately, our sign designer, Kim, is not here this evening. We're going to try to get him on the phone so that he can describe his design. I do know that we worked really closely with your staff to meet the code, had a couple of different revisions to accomplish that. But with that, the owner is here with the sign designer, Kim Sutton.
How's it going? My
State-
name is
state your
John
name.
Gary. I'm one of the owners of Autos Express Car Wash. And Kim, I got you on the phone right now. Can you guys ask the question again for me, please?
The question was, if the lettering was internally illuminated channel lettering, is that correct, Kelly? Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. I was not, from what I understand, our code requires, that our signage not be internally illuminated, that we have external light sources for signage. So that was the first thing that struck is that in compliance with our code, or are we seeking a deviation there?
I guess first question, is it internally illuminated or externally?
Did you hear that, Kim, at all?
I could not understand a word she said. Was that Lee?
Kelly. But are the signs going to be internally
Talking about the
Donated.
monument sign.
the monument signs?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, the reverse channel letter logos.
Can you guys hear that?
Yes,
Exactly.
They're backlit.
backlit, okay.
So is that the ones that are lit, the letter or the logo is lit from behind with the halo effect?
That's correct.
Yes.
And these are they're halo lit. They're not, the whole face does not light like the one in Desmond.
Okay, so they light up from the back of the sign. All right.
You're gonna have the blue glow around the perimeter of the logo.
Yep.
And then all of the other components of the logo will halo light. That's an important distinction.
So the sign's actually not going to be backlit. It's just going to have a blue glow behind the sign.
And all of the letters are going to be halo lit, all the logo components.
All the letters are going to be halo lit.
Are we talking about building sign or monument sign or both?
Is this for the building and monument signs, Kim?
I'm talking about the monument sign right now.
Let's go one by one.
Yeah, we're gonna stay on the monument sign for
Was
now.
he talking about the monument sign?
Kim, are these for all the signage?
No, that's just the monument sign.
That's just for the
building
monument
sign.
sign.
Yeah, the
Lee, did you get a good understanding of,
So the whole thing on what? Yeah, I'm trying to, so the monument sign, it looks like the whole, content on the sign is one big logo. Am I seeing that correctly?
Yes,
Or is
I believe
it,
so.
is
Kim, who did you
autos,
meet with?
car wash separate?
I'm sorry,
Kim, didn't you meet with somebody about the signage?
Is it all
I did review,
three-dimensional?
this with Tim Brown, yes,
Tim Brown?
correct.
Okay. I don't know if that's relevant or not.
But he's the one that approves these things before they go to, the DRB meetings.
So everything that you've done is compliant with Tim Brown?
It is, that is correct.
Okay.
let's go, yeah, Tim's already noted that it's in compliance. The board's just asking questions so they can
Okay.
have an understanding exactly what
Okay.
to expect when the monument sign is built, if approved. So Lee, as you were questioning earlier, they are reverse channel backlit with the halo. And there'll be a blue glow around the blue portion, and the other letters will have the halo lit from behind.
We don't have a section through the monument. Usually they give us a section so that we can see what is three-dimensional and what is not, and how far it comes out.
That's where
I
I'm.
think we're having a hard time reading it, because it's all two-dimensional.
Exactly.
We have a question that we can ask of Kim.
So
I don't think so.
So are you
at this
saying that
time.
the whole logo is like in front of the stucco wall? Is that a stucco wall on the monument? Is that all, in the same plane as the stucco? Or what is in front and what is in the same plane? I don't know if my question is clear, but.
I get it. That's exactly what I'm wondering.
Kim, we're gonna forward the Zoom link, email the Zoom link to Kim. If Kim can just
That'd be
call
great.
in,
Yeah.
I think that would
Kim.
cut out a lot of,
Yeah,
Are you able to get in on the Zoom conference real quick?
tell him that it's no different than being on the phone call.
Oh,
All right.
All right, so,
Yeah.
so the question,
I think we're just lacking some detail on the monument.
right, so the question,
We
as
normally
I
have.
understand it, is,
I know, it's like, there's no section.
so
Go ahead.
the question, as we understand it, if you look at our, in our architectural drawings, we're showing, the building is actually, that portion of the building has actually got siding on it. It's a niche siding.
Yeah, but they're referring to the monument
Oh,
sign.
they're talking
Yeah,
about the
monument,
Oh,
yes,
I'm sorry.
correct.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to the building yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you want to try to get
It's
in
the
on this?
monument sign that we're looking at. On sheet 01,
Well, let's keep things moving forward. So would the board like to see a cross-section before, in order to fully understand the monument sign before?
yeah, I think a cross-section would help.
It would help, especially since it's not being really described.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't have
All right.
that
Fully.
in front of me either.
I mean, if
so-
somebody could describe it to us a little more.
Well, let's move off the monument sign for now, and we can either address the lighting or the building signage. And then if Kim's able to join us via Zoom, maybe we can get to more detailed description of the monument sign.
I think the building signs are pretty, clear. And Tim, I guess this is two signs because it's on a corner.
Yes, that's right.
And it just looks like, there's the logo and then the letters are facelet channel letters.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think, I agree with Lee, the building signage is very easy to kind of understand what they're doing.
Okay.
The monument sign, wasn't, clear at all. I mean, I think I have an understanding of what, based on the verbal description, the entire sign face is one elevation. And it's, I don't know the dimension, but it's extending from the, I guess, stucco. I'm not sure what the material is for the actual monument itself. It's extending some distance, and then that's lit behind.
Well, we've sent the Zoom link to Kim, so hopefully he can join us and then further
Difficult to
explain
understand.
exactly what the monument sign is. So are there any other questions from the board regarding the building sign? Okay, we'll move on to the lighting plan.
You look at the building sign.
Yeah, I didn't have any other questions about the project itself. I just wanted an understanding of the monument sign.
Oh, I have a question
Fine.
about the building sign, and I'm sorry that I'm a little bit behind.
All right, go ahead, Lourdes.
Oh,
The building sign on the, Don Bishop Road elevation, is the building sign sort of like perpendicular and that roof is sloping back so that the letters aren't laying on the sloped roof, but they would be standing upright? Am I reading it correctly?
Yes, Lourdes, you're reading it correctly.
Okay, so those would be straight, and then this is the one that would be the 2.5 and 12 pitch, right? So the letters would be upright.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I like that.
and Tim, on the other one, the one on Highway 98, it's vertical. So I guess, are we just applying the size limitations, but just flipping them
Yes,
45 degrees?
that's
Are you
right.
following me?
Mhm.
I don't know that we've ever done that before, but I guess that meets code.
Oh, it's a graphic. And both signs are the same size, right? Or
Yes,
not?
they're the same
24 by
size.
312, yeah, both signs are the same size.
We haven't done anything specifically like this, Lourdes, but we've got the one that extends out from the building at Seascape for the seafood restaurant. It's vertical like this too, but it extends back from the building.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any problem with that. I think it'll look really nice.
Yes. I'm just making sure it meets code. I like the look.
Yeah, yeah. You know me.
Yeah, no, I think it looks good. All right, so I didn't have any problems with the lighting plan either. It's good, so I guess we're all at the monument sign now.
Yeah, the monument sign is the one, I just have questions about it. I right now, I don't know what the monument sign itself, is it stucco or is it, what materials is that sign made out of? And the depth of all little pieces. I'm not quite sure about what the design is.
Tim, is it possible to approve everything except this
Oh,
monument sign, or is it?
Either that or come back to this item.
Mhm.
If you want
Okay.
to come back to it.
Is Kim going to be available?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, our sign designer is gonna be at his office in about 5 minutes. He's gonna log on so that the connectivity is a little bit better. If you'd like to hold on or go to the next agenda item, and then once everybody else has heard, then we can come up once Kim's connected in. if that's convenient, for you guys, I'd like to request that, just due to the connectivity.
Yeah, that's fine, Matt.
That way
We'll-
you can describe that monument sign.
We'll move on to the next agenda item and then circle back to and address this, once we finish with, the Ascension Sacred Heart Trustmark building sign.
Thank you, Ms.
So Tim, we're going to move on to the Ascension Sacred Heart Trustmark building sign deviation.
Okay. This is a sign deviation application requesting a deviation for an additional building sign on 1.93 acres with a future land use of mixed use and a zoning of coastal center. It's at the corner of Mac Bayou Road and Highway 98. At the June meeting, this board approved the same side on the east side. So it's a corner lot, so they could have one on Mac Bayou and they could have one on Highway 98. However, this sign is on the west side. So one on the east has been approved, this is on the west. So because it's not fronting the 98 frontage, they require a deviation. But it's the exact same sign the board approved at the June 4th meeting. With that, I'll entertain any questions the board may have.
So let me understand, Tim, you said that normally, since this building is on a corner, they would be able to have a sign on the Mac Bayou Road side and a sign on the US 98 side,
Correct.
but instead of on the US 98 side, they want the second sign on the west side of the building?
Correct, yes.
So is this attached to the Trustmark building in front of it?
It's on the Trustmark building, and they're replacing a sign that's already there. The sign that says Sacred Heart Foundation is already on the west side. Those signs were on the east side and the west side. So at the June meeting, this board approved the new sign, which is Ascension Sacred Heart, on the east side. So again, because it's not facing 98, they require a deviation, but the sign is already there that they want to replace. So they just want to take the Sacred Heart sign off and put the Ascension sign on.
Is there a reason that they didn't try to address both at the last meeting?
Because,
Seems odd
because-
to take it up if they knew they were gonna have to replace the signage.
well, you guys discussed it at the last meeting, but they needed to apply for the deviation. Prior to that meeting, they had not done so.
They probably just didn't realize it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
So
they
they
had
would
to,
have two signs regardless. There must not be a sign on the lower part of the building that's south of this portion of the building. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct, yes. I mean, the applicant is here if you want to ask the applicant.
Yeah, there's photos of it in our package.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the only thing facing Highway 98
believe
is
this
the
is-
Trustmark.
exact
Trustmark sign.
replication of the other sign, right?
Yes, it's the exact,
It's already there, it already looks, it's already the exact same condition.
the exact same sign.
Just trying to understand that or confirm that there is not a building sign on that front portion of the building where the bank branch actually is.
There's a Trustmark
I don't know that, and I
sign,
don't see that in the photograph.
but there's a Trustmark sign there, Lee, but there's not a Sacred Heart sign.
On that front part of the building?
Yeah, on the south elevation facing 98, there's a sign for Trustmark Bank, but there's no signage for Sacred Heart.
Okay. So that's what I was kind of going to, is that this actual entire building is going to end up with three signs.
Yes,
One on the south, one on the east, and one on the west elevation, which is what they already had, correct?
correct, yes.
All right. I just want to be clear about exactly what it is. Because at first I thought, oh, they're just moving the south elevation, the sign that would be normally on the south elevation over to the west. But it's a third sign.
Yes, it's a third sign on that building.
Is that how the deviation reads?
Well, it's a deviation for an additional sign.
I just want-
They can have two. They can have one on the
And that
east,
is how it
one on the
reads.
south. So this is a deviation for an additional sign that they're putting on the west. I mean, if they wanted, it could be on the north, but it's on the west side.
And they already had one there.
Yeah, there's already a Sacred Heart Foundation sign there, and this will replace that.
Okay. All right, I'm good. I just like to know what I'm voting on exactly, and I just had to clarify for my purposes.
All right. The board have any other questions or have a motion?
I just go ahead and motion to approve?
A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any public comment? Being there is none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, motion passes unanimously. So it doesn't look like Kim's with us yet. We'll go ahead, Tim, and move on to the Forest View Village commercial lots and road extension.
Thank you. This is a minor development or application submitted by Interlight Engineering requesting approval to extend the existing roadway from MC Davis Boulevard and to create 3 commercial lots on 4.24 acres with the future land use of commercial and a zoning of general commercial. And parcels located on the north side of Highway 98, west of Serenoa Road and east of Mac Bayou Road. Since all this is they're creating 3 commercial lots, so the application is to create 3 commercial lots. The only thing the board is approving for this project is the landscape plan, just like we did with Seashells Phase 6, where they created 4 commercial lots. Here they're creating 3 commercial lots. The only review is the scenic corridor buffer along Highway 98. And the landscape plan is in compliance. So with that, I'll answer any questions that the board may have.
Tim, will the future access for all of these lots, be from one of the rear side roads? It will not be from US 98?
Correct. It'll be either from that extension or it'll be the one to the east. They haven't indicated anything of yet, but the first 2 lots going from west to east will definitely access the roadway extension. The third lot to the east could do either one. They could either hook in to the road on the north side of their lot, or they could hook in on the east side. I guess we'll just have to see when they come in to develop that lot.
But Tim, it won't be 98 though,
No, they will not have any access to 98.
directly from 98.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, and we'll see landscape plans once they submit buildings
Correct,
of
yes.
one of the
Yeah,
properties.
as each of those lots develop, each one will have to provide a landscape plan for that lot.
Does the board have any questions or any more comments regarding the buffer? Anyone like to make a motion?
We have
I'll
public.
make a motion to approve. Oh,
All right, Kelly made a motion to
Did we
approve.
get public, did we ask for public comment?
Not yet, but Kelly made a motion to approve, Lee seconded. Do we have any public comment? All right, being as none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries unanimous. All right, Tim, we'll go ahead and move on to agenda item number 6, the Southeast Storage Facility Addition. Hey, Dave.
Thank you. This is a major development order application submitted by Avcon requesting approval to remove an existing 150-unit mini storage building and construct a second 3-story, 61,275 square foot building for a total of 122,500 square feet of self-storage on 4.01 acres with a future land use of mixed use and a zoning of coastal center mixed use. It's located at 330 Forest Shore Drive in Miramar Beach. At the November 7th, 2019 meeting, this board approved Building A. This is Building B. It's going to look exactly like Building A. So everything is here, it's in compliance, but just so you know, this is a mirror of what this board approved at the November 2019 meeting. So with that, I'll answer any questions the board may have.
Where is 98? Is it on the,
It's to the,
South.
my
it's
bearing,
to the
looking at
south.
the site plan?
It's to the south. This is on the north
All
side
right,
of,
so this,
Highway
so
90.
Building A fronts 98.
Correct, they both do.
yeah, they both do.
So this is sort of,
Well, Building B is behind A.
do?
Yeah, Building A is behind, I'm sorry, Building
Yeah.
B is located, so yes, Building A is fronting Highway 98. Building B, which is also turned,
And B
is behind Building A. And to the north of this is Forest View. So you can access the project from either way. You can access this from 98 or you can access it from Forest View.
And Tim, the landscape plan that was provided, that was from the previous submittal because it covered all of the exterior buffers and the frontage. There's no new additional landscape with the new building.
That's correct, yes. That was all approved at the last meeting, and none of it's changing. Or if it is, it's only in the vehicular service area. That would be the only thing that would change.
Just a curiosity question. Were they planning to leave the existing building and then they since decided to replace it with a mirror image of the other building? Yeah. Trying to remember.
I'm being told by the applicant, yes.
I thought so. Okay. And I'm also looking back, thinking back, was this one that we recommended or made a condition of approval, some changes to that front side?
Yeah, they're saying yes to that too. I didn't.
No?
They're saying yes.
Please state your name.
That
for the
was
record.
you,
Yes.
Lourdes, I think, that recommended.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, my name is Luke
I-
Williams. I'm one of the
My memory's
owners.
horrible, but
And in the last meeting, we added a
they
substantial
changed
about,
the design.
we added more glass to the front facade for the road elevation for the view across 98. This building is pretty much always directly behind Building A, and really you only can kind of see it at like the perfect angle if you're on 98 as you travel down, because it's behind the other building. But yes, ma'am, you did ask for additional glass.
The design has changed.
Pardon me?
Looks different. So the east elevation, if you're driving west if you're heading west on 98, this east elevation would be visible, I would think, at least somewhat. Which also looks like the front of the building, is that correct? The east elevation?
Please state your name.
Hi, my name is Danny Folk. I'm with Avcon. Tanya Nation was here last meeting. I'm here in place of her. She had a conflict in her schedule. We actually noticed that the labels for the elevations are actually swapped, and we will be sure to make that change as soon as possible and update that in the permitting portal. But, so this top one is actually the east elevation, and that will be the one that you see.
Yeah. So that end is basically the part that would be visible where I'm showing. That's the part that they showed that would be in the sight line, where the 2 brick columns and then that end wall.
And this is I wish we could see the previous elevation so we could compare and
Sure.
see what the changes have been.
We have that.
Me too.
I mean, materials have changed, glass has changed. I mean, this looks like a incredibly massive building with no windows.
This is the
And
same.
there was something going on in the middle of the building, from what I remember. There was some kind of electrical stuff that we were trying to, do you remember that, Lee?
I think,
What-
yeah, I think that
well,
was a different one, but,
yeah,
but
I
I
mean,
do
what-
think
Oh,
this
was
is,
it a different one?
Lourdes,
See,
what
this is
we're
different.
reviewing today is
My
is
memory
Building
wasn't
B,
great.
which is turned in behind Building A. And,
So the only difference that we did in the elevation is
it just looks different.
we didn't do the major front door because it's out back, and so we did a really nice storefront on the part that faces 98. And, basically, any of the part that's visible from 98, we did this. We would have no problem installing more glass. That's fine by us if you would like more glass.
Well, I just like to, I just like to get my bearings with the previous building and then look at what we approved or what we looked at, and then it would, make me remember more.
I think as the
And,
director said, it's
and
almost a
then we
mirror
could see
image.
the changes made.
Yes, ma'am. I believe as the director said, it's almost exactly a mirror image.
Okay, so this is becoming clearer now. So that top elevation on sheet A201 is actually the east elevation, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
that's right.
Instead of west, it's east.
Yes, ma'am. It's east.
That's right.
And
Yes.
so does that design mirror the south elevation of Building A?
Yes.
Like, this would be the front of the Building A, right?
Yes, without the front door in the very middle.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly right. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Okay, now this is starting to, are you following, Lourdes? It's starting to make more sense now to me, based on what we saw before. Because I even, didn't you recommend like an elevation change to the roof, what do you call that, when the roof height?
Parapet?
Yeah, the parapet and the roof height. I thought you recommended a change there and a change to that front entrance. So this is a mirror image of the front of Building A without the entrance,
Yes, ma'am.
because it's actually the back of Building B, kind of.
Yes, ma'am. You're exactly right.
That
Yes.
makes sense.
So it's the back of Building B, and it's the front, which is where the entry from, the entrance, what you're gonna see at that entry on the left-hand side, the south side, you come in and you're looking at Building A. So that is the facade you're gonna see on,
Yeah.
that, without the entrance.
Yeah, so I think that
That's the same as what you would see on the east side of Building B. Am I getting it right?
I don't know, ma'am. I can't
Yeah.
say for
Yes.
sure if I'm following you. but
That is correct, and yes, so, really, the only change is just Building B and the parking next to it. Everything about Building A and all surrounding has already been approved, but yes, the, east side of the building B, the proposed building B, mimics the store frontage, which is also the south side of Building A and north of Highway 98.
With the only difference being there's no entrance.
Yes, ma'am, that's exactly right.
Okay, so that's the entrance. Okay,
And
yeah,
the
the
difference
east
of that there's no
side of
glass.
Building B is the same as that south of Building A,
Yeah,
without the entrance.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Because the building's pushed up against the
Honestly,
property
that-
line and
If
there's
they
no,
even had something that was there, it wouldn't be visible with the fencing and the landscaping. Even if there was a door or
Right.
something that was a change in the facade, I don't think it would even be visible there.
no, ma'am, it would not. You're correct.
Yeah, it'd be covered up.
It'd be so far down in that tree line and it backs up to the property line and there's not a road that goes to that side or any kind of drive access. There's a canal there. So yes, ma'am, you're correct. It would be a door to nowhere.
I agree. What you're gonna see is you're gonna see Building A, east side and south side, mainly,
Yes, ma'am.
at least when you're driving from going east to west, right?
And I believe if you're coming from
You won't get to see.
From
Building
west
A.
to east, you'll just see the same thing you were seeing before, which is where our parking and whatnot is. That didn't change at all.
I said, just to,
So imagine-
Happen to
kind
have
of,
the elevation of Building A?
yeah, just to circle back, the request is
You
to
wanna see
approve
A?
approve building B, which is essentially a mirror image of building A, which has already been approved by the board.
Oh, see, no.
All right, any?
Gotta love Sue.
So I don't even know I'm sorry, I don't even know what the existing building looks like that you're removing, but I imagine those folks to the north of you are probably kind of happy
Oh, very,
that you're,
Yeah. They're doing chest bumps and high fives, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
I bet they are. That's funny. That's funny. Okay,
And I'm actually a neighbor on that road, so I'm doing chest bumps and high fives too. I live on Bay Shore.
okay, good. All right, I'm just trying to I just needed to get my bearings straight. In a perfect world, I would like to see some more architectural variation in the middle of that east elevation for Building B. But I think because most of it's probably not gonna be visible, and that, Kelly, you think most of this, I'm sorry, I've gotta go look at the landscape plan and all that, now that I have my
Well,
bearings.
If memory serves, there's pretty heavy existing vegetation towards the end of that. So the landscaping that's installed, isn't what I was referring to. I was referring to the heavy existing vegetation. So when you're coming across, there's, on the plan, showing a fence, with the combination of the fence and the existing vegetation, I'm not sure you're gonna see more than just a corner, of the facade.
I think you're gonna see this.
Talking about Building B
Yeah.
or Building A?
Building B.
Building B.
Building B. So I
Okay.
think you're gonna see this, so if you all wanted, you
Yeah,
know, we
I
could,
don't think you're gonna see much at all.
I think if we saw this and if we wanted to add some glass in here to see in, that would be fine. We'd have no problem, finessing the architectural of that end, if that's your request. I have no problem with that.
Well, I mean, I don't, I have a problem when you design a building based on what you see and what you don't, in terms of the integrity of the design. Given that, that's just me and my pet peeve, but, if you're not gonna see the building, I mean, and adding glass just because I'm not seeing where and how would glass, how would that enhance the building to a certain extent? I mean,
Lourdes, I was just talking about, like, especially if it's visible. Now, I don't know, this is a 3-story building, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
I just, normally, I wouldn't want to see, from a roadway, a big expanse of, trying to get back up there, sorry, my computer's a little bit slow. So the big expanse of, gray, in the middle of that, between those, brick columns.
Yeah.
But I think, if it's gonna be broken up by the fence, and I don't think the fence is not gonna hide much of it, it can't be that high, but vegetation and whatnot, I mean, I'm not familiar with that site. Is it trees through there? Is it high vegetation?
Large trees, high vegetation. So
I mean,
just something to kind of think about so that you can kind of see. This is the side elevation of Building A that's already been approved. And so then the next building would just pick up right there and look exactly like a continuation of that building.
I know, but if I could see Building A, which is not presented here,
Just-
then it would be nice to have that. That's my issue here, that I'm
Can
having.
you see what
because
I'm holding?
Since this was approved a long time ago,
This is Building A,
I
ma'am.
just don't remember what Building A, with the front entrance, what it looks like.
Well, he has the material here, Lourdes. He has it here, and it's here in person. And so it's for those of us who are here, we can see
Yeah, Lourdes,
it.
are you looking at,
But let's get back to
Okay, so
the
let me-
request,
okay,
applicant's
so-
request.
So let me look at the video, because I'm not looking at the video, I'm just looking at the drawing. Okay, where,
This is the Building A, which was
presenter
approved.
camera?
center camera?
Yeah.
So you see how that the center is a little broken up by the sign and the entrance, and it's not tremendously broken up, but it is some. So but it's all right. I mean, I think it's okay. It's the side.
All right, let's get back to the request.
Yeah, see, I'm not looking, I can't, okay, here, there we go. Presenter camera.
All right, let's get back to the request, which was, the applicant has requested to approve Building B, which is essentially the same as Building A, which has been already approved. The board has seen the slight portion of Building B that's going to be visible from Highway 98. Does the board have any questions or comments about Building B? All right, would the board like to make a motion? Lee, still have any?
No,
still have
in
issue?
defense, I will in just a minute, just one quick comment, and this is not necessarily pertaining to this development, but we've said on past developments, especially those of us that have been on here for a bit, it's always helpful to see the whole development all at once. Yes, we saw this before, but it has been a while now. The gentleman holding up the rendering of Building A was great. That was very helpful. But I think that's where Lourdes was going, because sometimes when we can see an entire development, we might see things that we would have missed otherwise. So that's where Lourdes, I think, was going. And it is always helpful, but holding up that rendering got us there, so thank you. I just wanted to
Yeah,
clarify.
and unfortunately, I didn't see that.
Oh,
If
you did?
Hold it again, did you see?
Sure.
Can I?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, now, if you can hold it. Okay, perfect.
And-
Thank you so
And
much.
Lee, to your point, on the construction
Thank you.
drawing, we see the footprint, we see the circulation and everything of the original site plan, we saw the original landscape plan. So it's just, it's incredibly helpful to have the original architecture as well, so.
Thank
But
you.
I do appreciate it being there in
Thank-
person for us to view.
Thank you
Thanks
very
a
much.
lot.
Y'all have any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Oh, second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any public comment? Being as there is none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you all very much. Have a good day.
All right, it appears,
you.
appears we have Kim on the Zoom call, is that correct? So Matt and Tim, we're going to circle back to the Otto's Car Wash Sowall, and we have the,
Autos.
yes, it appears we have the Kim who designed the monument sign on the call. Kim, can you hear us? Okay, Kim, unmute yourself.
You did.
He's unmute, okay.
Kim, if you can hear, is your computer muted? Not your Zoom, but your computer by chance? Or your volume turned down, or microphone turned down or something? Oh, I could just hear him. Could y'all hear him? Sounds far away. but-
Barely.
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Yeah, let's try that. Just set your phone by the.
All right, Kim, we're gonna try to put you next to this speaker. All right.
Sorry, guys, I don't know what's going on.
That's maybe too close, too much interference.
Are you there, Kim? We're gonna try to figure out how to get you where everybody can hear you.
Oh, that's gonna work.
It does, yeah.
Let's try that. And we're trying to. Kim, start talking about the monument.
Or maybe he should leave and come back and see if there's something that. Yeah, I think. Kim, leave the meeting and then try to click the link and rejoin, and we'll see if the audio is any better. Yeah, Matt, we'll just. All right.
There should be an option for the phone call to dial in, and that should be better, I think, audio quality, instead of trying to be on the computer, but to call in with his phone. He may not be able to view what we're looking at, but maybe that we'd be able to hear what's going on with him. So that might be something to recommend to him.
The beauty and frustration of technology.
We'll work through it. While we're waiting, if you want to see something cute. That's Frank and Joey. Sorry, just passing time.
Hello?
There you are.
Yes, we can
All
hear
right.
you. That's so much better.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Kim, this is Board
So
Member
what can I
Peacock.
answer for you?
Kim, this is Board Member Peacock. The board's questions really revolve around the monument sign in terms of the materials, lighting, and the lettering. And so if you could just walk us through those elements so we can get a full understanding of exactly what to expect when it's constructed. That is correct.
Kim, this is Lee. You might need to move your phone away from your computer or something if you're still, there's a bunch of feedback for some reason.
That any better?
No feedback, you're
That
echoing.
does sound better. Yeah.
That's okay.
Lots of echo.
I don't know what's happening.
Why don't you try again, and most of our questions are pertaining to the materials and how the sign is constructed, what the relief of the sign panel and the other elements are in relation to the monument itself. There's just very little detail on the drawing as to what's going on. And typically we see sections when we're looking at monument signs that have various relief elevations. And it was not clear that the entire sign wasn't eternally illuminated, that it was just the halo style that was around it. So we just needed a little bit more clarification of the materials and how the sign was structured, the relief of the various elements and the
Can you hear me, Kelly? Is that any better?
That's much better, yes, thank you.
Good. I'm not sure what I did, but, okay. To explain, all of the elements from the base to the wave element at the bottom and the top are stepped in, so the projection is the same all the way around the perimeter of the sign. So it's very architectural. That particular component of the construction is just like the signs in Destin. So there's relief, and it's all fabricated out of aluminum. And then the center, the white portion of it, is all aluminum construction again with a stucco finish. And then the logos, that's the only component that lights. And you get there's a halo around the entire perimeter, going back against the stucco. And then all of the logo elements, perimeter light as well. So it is a reverse channel letter logo. So you don't have any face lighting or anything of that nature.
So, when you are there two separate elements? Are the letters a separate piece from the trees and water element? So there's two halo light effects, or is it just one around the?
There are two. All of the components and the lettering all have their own halo source, and then the perimeter of the cloud, I'll call it a cloud shape for lack of a better, that goes all the way around the logo. We want that to light blue like the one at Destin does. Again, completely different construction because those are faces that should not allowed.
I've never seen the one in Destin, so I don't recall it, so.
Yeah, I've never seen the one in Destin either, so, I'm a little bit, when you say logo, is the logo include the trees and the water and that whole picture against the stucco? And that's what's gonna be glowing, or is it just Auto's car wash? I mean, I don't know which is, if the letters are in front of that logo, or if the logo.
Yeah, all of the text of the logo and the logo elements, the trees, the water, all of that is gonna have its own halo light source.
So that's gonna be in front of the stucco, and how deep is that? How, what's the depth there?
It's probably gonna be about at least 3 inches.
So all of that is gonna be 3 inches. Now, autos, the letters, Autos Express Car Wash, is that gonna be in front of the 3 inches, or is it just gonna be at the same plane as the 3 inches? So
Now,
all the
that will be
logos
in
will
addition.
be one plane.
So that will be in addition to, that will project out further, probably another inch.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I need to know.
Okay. Just the autos
Yeah.
or the Autos Express Car Wash, Kim, that's all in front of that background of trees and water?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we'll probably
then-
do a couple of layers for more interest, and, but all of those elements, and they'll probably, like the trunks of the trees, they'll have to have some sort of grouping, we can't do little tiny things in that construction, so, but all of those components will have some sort of a, halo, light source.
That by
And is
halo,
all of the light source color the same?
Yeah, we want to do the blue around the perimeter of the cloud, and then we actually haven't discussed that, but at this point, we would do that all in white on the logo itself. So you have the blue at the perimeter, and then the white for all the logo elements.
now, the waves at the bottom at the base, how far in depth? Is it the darker blue, is that gonna be 3 inches or 1 inch? And then the lighter blue, is that gonna be further in front of the darker blue, or how does that work?
That's correct. If you look at the white body, then you have the dark blue wave, and you see the distance from the edge of the cabinet out to the edge of that blue wave. That is the same distance that it steps out towards you.
So how, is it gonna be 3 inches then? Depth?
That is roughly, I can actually tell you how, that is going to be, that is right at 3 inches, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then the light blue is gonna be 1 inch in front of the dark blue?
It is right at 1 inch, yes.
Okay. So basically, the logo is gonna be parallel to the dark blue, and then the letters of Autos Car Wash are gonna be parallel at the same depth as the light blue.
I would say
3
roughly.
and
because
1.
the bo- It's very close to that, yes, ma'am. Now, the logo has to float off of the body of the sign so that
Right.
the blue can, so it has a space to float.
Right. Okay, that helps a lot. Now, how far does the sloping roof of the monument, how far does that come out towards us?
It's probably, I want to say it's, the white is about 2 inches and the gray is 1 inch.
Okay. Is everybody following that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Is the white background on the body of the sign, does it match that lightest color on the building? You know how we can't tell from, images on the computer? Or is it just like a
Yeah.
stark white? What does it match
No,
on the building?
it would match the building.
So it's that lightest grayish white?
And the
Right.
material on the building is it stucco?
No, it's fiber cement siding. It's on the,
But it's gonna be painted the same color as the stucco, it's gonna match.
Correct.
That's what he's saying.
I think that's nice that it ties in with that color.
The way they,
It's a very different presentation for what's on the sign than what we're used to seeing, but I think, I don't know, design professionals, are y'all good?
well, I have a question. The renderings show wood and gray, and there's no white in the building. Am I looking at the right?
Well, he
If
was
I
saying
just heard
more,
correctly, that's the light, it's not actually stark white, it'll actually have that lightest gray color. That whole stucco cabinet will be
The
that
one at the
lightest
tower on the
gray
left
color.
of the south elevation, it's gonna match that color,
It,
the light gray. Okay,
it's,
C,
yeah, the
exterior color legend, okay.
number one, the paint
Yeah.
number one.
So that would be the stucco color.
That's what I
Yes.
understood. Is that correct,
That's correct.
Tim?
That is correct.
Okay, okay, so, well, good, because I was wondering.
I promise, guys, next time you will have details in abundance.
Thank you, Kim.
We don't want a whole bunch, we just want what shows the picture, you know?
just,
I don't think it's confusing.
Does the board have any more questions or comments related to the monument sign?
so no, I'd just say if the design professionals are comfortable with that, I'm comfortable with the color of the background, but the way that the logo and the lettering is presented, y'all are comfortable with that? Then I'm good with all of it.
Yeah, I'm a lot more comfortable with it. I understand it now.
I have one comment. I don't know that I'm uncomfortable with the sign, but I'm a little hesitant about the blue backlighting, because, you know, one of the things that I really like about our sign ordinance is that we're trying to eliminate the neon and the brightly colored lights and something that, you know, you kind of see a different feel, a different place. So I know that the backlight is usually more subtle, more soft, and is something that is appropriate as an alternative to a front lamp illuminating the sign. I just, that's my only hesitation, is just to make sure that we're not using bright, extreme colors in that context to achieve kind of that neon look that we prevented from being in the corridor. So that's my only hesitation with the blue lighting. Otherwise, I feel like the sign's appropriate, and I understand what's going on with it. So I don't know. There's not really any guidance in the code. I've looked twice while we were talking. So I'm not really sure that we can I don't feel appropriate, yeah.
Well, is the applicant willing to go all white?
Can I ask a question?
Yep, certainly.
What if, okay, we can dial that blue back? I just don't want to get, from a design standpoint, a wash of white on this monument. And it just be too much light.
Yeah.
And that little
And I
bit of.
understand that, especially with the gray, yeah.
My opinion is that you have the light blue and the blue already on the base. And, I really don't mind the blue. It depends on what kind of blue light are you talking about? You know, I mean,
It's very
a color
similar to the
situation.
base tone.
If it's a light blue, very light blue, it might be okay, but if it's a harsher blue, it might not work. It all depends, and there's nothing that you can tell us, or right now, nobody's telling us what kind of blue light is it gonna be.
The blue will be similar in tones to the base colors. Right now, what we have on the existing monument is very similar to the dark blue that's on the base.
Yeah, I would prefer the light blue.
And can I make a quick interjection here, just to add a little bit of context? Like, I would liken this sort of to, if you recall, the Taco Bell, where they had the sort of the louvered panel around the top of the building, and they wanted to backlight it with purple, and we made them change it to white.
Yeah.
And it's so much better. So I think that's what, Kelly, you were speaking to, is just keeping that color light down drastically.
Correct.
Because it really creates.
Yeah, you know,
a
as long as
different
you feel, you know, my mind goes worst case scenario a lot, but as long as we're talking about, you know, more of a softer, subtle wash, then I don't really have a hesitation. But in my mind, I'm seeing, you know, kind of that neon bright blue, and that does give me a little bit of pause just because of the character that we've tried to create there in the corridor. So it's something that I don't know that we can quantitatively,
Well, the applicant, Matt, would you have something to add?
No, we actually can. You can say, you know, we can pick something, I can put a filter on the back of the logo that has that light blue. It's translucent. And so when the light comes on, it's going to glow in those lighter tones, just like you can do that with a pink or a red or that sort of thing. So
If I might interject.
No. All right. We'll have none of that.
If I might interject, if I could interject really
Hey,
quickly.
Kelly, just a minute. Kelly, just a minute. The applicant has something to add. Go ahead, Matt.
Yes, ma'am. This is Matt Parker again, JP Engineering. I think that the vision that you have in your mind, the way that you've described, is very different from what the signage actually will be. It's not a neon glow. It's not a bright, in-your-face type of light. It's more of a subtle background color. Kelly, actually, I'm kind of looking at the background in your background picture on the video that you've got there. That if you look down at the bottom of that light kind of sky, real pretty blue, that's the kind of lighting that we're seeing. And the reason that I know that, there's another location just to the west of this facility, well, a lot west of this facility, but there's a lot of different elements to the sign that we're putting here. It's much nicer. But as far as the backlight portion, it's really classy, and it looks really good. And I know that because I'm very critical of signage, and quite frankly, when I drive through Destin, by the time I get to the other side, I feel assaulted. And this signage is not that. And the blue color is sort of the signature color of the car wash. It brings in the element of water and fun and washing, and the blue element, I think, is very important. To whitewash that out would be unfortunate, in my opinion, particularly with the amount of other white elements and accent colors that are associated with the entire package. So I think that it's much more muted and much more subtle than what you have in your mind, Kelly. It's certainly not neon or bright or assaulting like what you're used to seeing over there. So that's just my opinion of it from seeing a particular product on the ground. I really do believe that you'll be extremely happy with it. Something else that I'd like to add is this particular business has an extremely high standard. If you go by their other facility, the landscaping, the presentation of their business is immaculate. So much so I asked them who their landscaper was the other day because I want them over at my office. It looks so good. Their grass is cut immaculately. Their plants are maintained. If there's any kind of dead anything, it's replaced. They care very much about the community, how they present to the community, and this signage design, in my opinion, reflects that as well. So I just kind of wanted to ease your mind a little bit that it's not some bright glow. It's more of a subtle color. So with that, I'll listen if you have any other questions.
All I want to point out is, and I know Lee and I have been on this board for a while, and we've been burnt a couple times with sizes of signs and, that we approved, and then all of a sudden we were surprised. What I would see if we could do is, like, if we could approve this with a with the fact that maybe you could show us the light at one point or another before it's installed, so we can make sure that it's the right kind of light rather than something that's gonna be too dark or too, too glow. I don't know whether, Tim, we can do that or not. What do you think, Lee?
I agree with that, if it would be ideal.
Yes, ma'am, and the owners are here
So will you guys be installing the signage in a month?
in a month,
Yeah, they wish.
within a month from today.
Probably gonna be a lot longer.
No, it will be, typically the signage is the last thing to go in, so we won't even be through, the county processes with the development order in a month. So, we've got some time on that, and, the owners are here, and they've committed to that, that's no problem at all. They want you to be happy with them, they want to fit in with the community. They can, put some elements on the lighting that they can dial it down, dial it up. And absolutely that we can, present the final look to you for approval, that's no problem at all.
That'd be great.
And I would also, I wouldn't even have a problem with seeing, a photograph of one of the other examples, like Matt, you had mentioned, that would be, comparative or the same light technique, just so we can kind of have just that little bit of assurance there. Otherwise, I know that, the building is, the materials are nice, so like, a lot of the detailing to it. I feel like that's the only piece that I have hesitation about. So, I'm completely comfortable approving it and just making it a condition that we get a chance to see and approve the lighting, if that's something we can do.
Yes,
Yeah, we
ma'am.
can certainly, we can certainly create that.
Great. I think that would be great. So, are we ready to make an motion?
Kelly, would you like to make that motion?
I motion to approve. I motion to approve with the condition of getting the light blue, presented to us before it's installed. And with a picture also of how it's gonna work and the previous and the other signage, so we can compare.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any public comment? Being as there is none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. With agenda item number 7 being...
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you all. With agenda item number 7 being continued to September 3rd, we now have to move on to some additional
Make a
business.
motion.
Do we need to vote on that continuation?
We do.
Yeah, we'll go ahead. Vote on.
To vote, I'll make a motion to continue.
I'll second that.
All right, we had a motion and a second.
Second and a third.
Public comment? Being as there is none, all those in favor of the continuation say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries unanimously. All right, so move on to additional business. It seems we need to, I guess, elect another chair.
I would like to make a statement that I'm very happy being the vice chair.
Wait a minute.
Just to go ahead and throw that one out there.
I'll nominate Tanner to become chair.
Yeah.
Like Donna. If you're willing to serve, Tanner.
You know,
Are you willing, Tanner?
Steve, are you on our board now?
Lourdes, I'm here for the county attorney.
Okay.
It's nice to see you, by the way.
Nice to see you too.
Good to see you, Steve. So Tanner, would you be willing to serve as chair?
yes, I will.
All right, well, I made a motion.
I second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. I do have,
I guess that's much nicer than voting for Donna to be chair when she wasn't
When
on the
she
meeting.
wasn't there.
yeah, that's right, yeah, exactly. I do have one suggestion. I know
But
that,
do we have to vote, Kelly,
I do have one
we
suggestion.
have to vote, for you to be vice chair? She already is.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I do have one suggestion for the board. I know it's we're still in some very uncertain times with the coronavirus, and we all know people every day who are catching it here locally. But if at all possible, in-person attendance, I think, would make these meetings much more efficient because the applicants are showing up prepared. But a lot of times it's the logistics of being able to see the presentation materials that they bring is just not as effective for those who are not here. And like I said, just a suggestion, but do whatever you're comfortable with. But going forward, I think it would be a lot more efficient to have as many people here in person as possible. But with no other business, we'll go ahead and adjourn. All right, thank you.
Second?
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Steve, it was good